Hello folks, my name is Mark and this is Why I Hate the World. And I'm going to kind of change things up a little bit. Up until this point, every video that I've made is kind of, stuck to one subject and sort of talked about that. And now I'm going to kind of vary that up a little bit, once in a while. This one is, I'm going to talk about a few different things. I made a video a little while back called I Simply Don't Give a Shit, right? And in that video I said that a lot of the times I don't make videos on certain subjects because I just don't care, right? And I think I need to clarify that point a little bit. It's not, basically, because then I started getting email from people saying shit like, well, do you care about this? Do you care about that? And it's like, because I didn't make a video about it. And, a certain subject, and it's not because I don't care most of the time. Well, alright, that's not true. Most of the time I really don't care, but sometimes I just don't really have enough to say about it, that could take up a 10 or 15 minute video. It's like, well, yeah, that's neat, but, my opinion on that is like one sentence, So, for instance, we have our riots in Britain, right? And, I got a few messages from some people asking me to make a video about that, and it's like, well, the truth is I don't really know enough about it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not from the UK. I'm not from England. I'm not from Britain or whatever. I know that those are terms that mean different things, but, I'm not from that country. I don't really know what caused it. From what I understand, though, it was because a black guy got shot by a cop, correct? Is that what happened? Like, there was that kind of sparked off this, there was a sort of a growing feeling from the black community in England of disenfranchisement from their society, essentially. I guess they had these youth clubs or something that got taken away, and then budget cuts, and then they upped the college tuitions and all kinds of shit like that. And then there was this instance of police violence where a guy gets shot by a cop, and then that caused them all to start rioting. And to be honest, I don't really see. The thing is, I don't really know how that is. This is just what I've gathered from online sources. And what I can say though is that we have a similar thing here. I've kind of lived through a very similar occurrence. Like in the 90s, we had the LA riots because of the Rodney King beating. And for people who are too young or just don't know about it, basically what that was there was a guy named Rodney King who, 4 cops stopped him, and he was on PCP or something like that. And they basically just beat the living crap out of him, and somebody got it on video. And, that happens all the time nowadays. Police brutality, someone gets it on their iPhone. But this was in 1992. Somebody had a video camera. Taped it, and they basically beat the living shit out of this guy, right? And these 4 cops went to trial, and they had an all-white jury, and they got found not guilty, and that caused a 3-day riot spree that people went down and they trashed downtown, and they burned down things, and they looted and all that stuff. And it sounds pretty similar to what's going on here, and in London, and I guess it's spread to neighboring cities and stuff up in London. And I don't know if that's exactly what's happening. I don't know if that's the exact same set of circumstances that brought this together, but it sounds pretty close, wouldn't you say? And, what I can say is that, rioting generally is counterproductive. In fact, I think there's a quote from Gandhi that something to that effect. Something to the effect of, it's a release of anger, shit like that, but in the end, it's self-defeating, and that's definitely true. It's you're not hurting anyone but yourself when you trash your own neighborhood. If you go down and you burn down your own stores, if you're complaining about unemployment, right, then it doesn't help unemployment to go burn down the mall, because now all those people are unemployed too. It doesn't help to go trash somebody's 100-year-old barbershop or whatever. It's you're basically shooting yourself in the foot. Now after everybody picks up the pieces and they put out all the fires, you're just basically that much worse off. Okay, rioting is not a good thing. Now, that being said, if you look at the cause of this riot, if it's anywhere close to the cause of the LA riots, the best way I would say to avoid social upheaval in this sense, violent social upheaval, is to give people a stake in society. You know, when you're young, right? Like, I don't know if anybody else out there has had this experience. When you're young, you're, 15, 16, 17, you don't really give a shit about what happens to society. You want it to burn down. You want to fucking bring down, especially when you hit that age when you find out that everything that you've been told is a lie. You know what I'm talking about? Like, right when you, like, start, you're maybe in high school, maybe some people it's like the first few years of like university or college or whatever, and you find out that the entire everything that they've ever told you, like from age 1 all the way up, is just bullshit. And then you start, you don't really give a fuck. You're just like, yeah, fuck it, burn it down, right? You want to trash the fucking mall. You want to destroy the fucking police center. You want to burn the fucking city down because it's not worth anything. And the reason why is because you don't have anything. Okay, now if you get a little bit older, you start getting some money in the bank, right? You buy a house, you buy a car, right? You start actually owning something. You're a little bit more beholden to the system then, and you're less likely to want to destroy the system as to reform it. And that's the way you stop people from wanting to destroy society, is that you make them stakeholders in society. Okay, someone doesn't want to burn their town down when they live there. If they own a house there, they're not going to want to trash their own neighborhood, all right, unless they're fucking insane or something. And that's kind of the solution to this sort of problem. It's like, well, if these kids actually had a place in society, they wouldn't want to destroy their society. If they actually had a place in the system, right, where they knew that they could go to, where they fit in somehow. If they actually, that's how you stop it. It's like everyone bitches and moans about corporations and shit like that until you work for one. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, no. And I mean, the thing is, same kind of deal here. I'm a pretty anti-corporate type person, but I work for like one of the largest mega conglomerates on earth, and it's like, well, do I want to see them destroyed? Well, not really, but I wouldn't mind reforming it just, enough to where, I mean, that's the thing. You can let the rich people have their riches, okay? You can let, that's just how the shit works. Let the rich and the powerful do their thing, but you have to give something to the rest of us at the same time, And when people have nothing, when people have absolutely fucking nothing, and they don't feel like they belong, and they don't feel like that anything that they do is going to change that, right? Then they just don't give a fuck, and yeah, they'll burn down their own neighborhood, okay? And that's kind of how I see it, and I don't know. So that's one thing. So more out there now in the news. Governor Rick Perry is running for president. I mean, my video last week was about the response that he put on, and a lot of people out there are kind of laughing at that, going like, wow, this guy, I guess he hangs around with like Christian like dominionists and shit like that, like these are the kind of people that think that only Christians should be allowed to vote, or that the Constitution doesn't apply to people of other religions, shit like that. Apparently Rick Perry also is a secessionist. Like he was in a part of a group that wanted Texas to secede from the Union. Right now, this guy's running for president, and all I got to say about that is this is going to be the most hilarious election cycle like ever. I mean, there's just so much comedy potential, especially like, say for instance, say there is a God and Rick Perry won the nomination and chose Michelle Bachmann as his running mate. And can you even imagine like the ass kicking that they're going to receive at the hands of Obama come the election? I mean, they wouldn't last 5 seconds. It'd be ridiculous. It'd be the funniest like ever. It'd be just fuel for jokes just forever. I mean, and I think it would break the back of the conservative Christian political movement if these two dumb shits actually like got the nomination. I think it'd be something like come the election, it'd be something like 25% to 75%. It'd be a major like ass stomping. And so good. I'm glad he's running because he's got no fucking chance in hell of actually winning. And I don't know. I just think that there's going to be a lot of really funny ass jokes and situations coming out of this next election cycle. And, I don't know. Fuck Rick Perry, by the way. And speaking of religion, one more thing. I guess there was a concert here. I guess this just happened either today or yesterday. And there was a... let me just... since I got a computer here. I guess there's some kind of country band called Sugar Beat or something like that, or I don't know. And the stage in this Kansas City fair, the stage fell and it killed a bunch of people, which is like really bad. And there's videos of it on YouTube. It's kind of kind of freaky to watch. And I was actually on a forum and a guy came on and said, oh, it's a miracle that only 4 people died. And I was thinking I might make a whole video about this, but probably not. My stance on that is that, that's not a fucking miracle. Okay, that's a tragedy, all right? And that kind of got me thinking. It's like, well, what kind of criteria do you need to declare something a miracle? Is it so much the miracle that these only 4 people died? If it would be a miracle if that thing fell and nobody died, right? What would be an even better miracle would be that if it fell and then stopped, and then all the people were here, and if it just hung there mystically in midair, and then all the people ran away, then it fell. That'd be a fucking miracle, okay? This got me thinking about there was an atheist group like a few weeks ago that wanted to sue the people that are making the 9/11 memorial in New York because they have this cross made out of the cross beams that they found in the rubble. And people are saying, it's a miracle, see, the thing fell and there's these steel cross beams and that's a clear sign from God, right? That is not a fucking miracle. It's like, what the fuck kind of criteria is that for a miracle? Like, out of the wreckage there's a cross beam. Like, that's all it takes to declare something a miracle. How about when the plane was going to hit the building, everyone, like, God teleports everyone in the building outside and then it hits, Or how about, like, he just, the plane just stops in midair before it hits the building, and then, like, God reaches his hand down and goes boosh, and then puts it on the ground, and then makes all the terrorists come out, and then, like, makes their heads explode. That'd be a fucking miracle, okay? It's not a miracle that, like, a plane hits a building and 3,000 people die, and then a piece of fucking wreckage kind of sort of resembles a cross, alright? Get the fuck out of my face with that shit, okay? It's like, that's the problem with, like, religious people, when they, they have to rationalize tragedy like that. They have to go, oh, it fell, only 4 people died, God is helping it. Get the fuck out of my face, okay? It's like, that's the problem. And then you start seeing miracles everywhere. You see fucking Jesus in a tortilla, alright? You see fucking, a cinnamon bun that looks like fucking Mother Teresa, or you see, like, Jesus Christ in the fur of your dog's ass or something, fucking magnets and shit like that. That's, those are not fucking miracles, for crying out loud, right? And I don't know, just fucking ridiculous. So anyway, folks, since I have your attention, I thought I'd take this opportunity to remind you that I am going to be appearing at the Los Angeles Comic-Con presented by Wizard World, and that is at the Los Angeles Convention Center on September 24th and 25th. And I will be selling my comic book, Freaks, Mutants, and Monsters. And if everything goes right, I should have a second issue of that, so I'll have 2 issues for you guys. And I'll be appearing there that weekend, and then afterwards I will also be in Long Beach for the Long Beach Comic Con on October 29th and 30th. I'll be sure to remind you all that. And please come by. It's $25 for one day or $40 for the weekend. come on down, hang out with me and my friend Alan from Carter Comics, and I hope to see you all there. Adios.